Yes, I've heard it before, Luna says. Layla and Hardrick also had a similar reaction when they saw me the first time. So, you were saying that you could teach me how to get my body back. Yes, Luna says, give me a moment. She then conjures a feather in front of her. She grabs it in her hand and gives it to me. Hold this, she tells me. I want you to focus on the feather while you speak the incantation that I'm about to say to you. As long as you don't lose focus of the feather and you say all the words correctly, you should gain back your body. Are you ready? Yes, I say as I look at the feather. Tell me the incantation. Repeat after me. Iluna says, Sehok Amon Riktu Selem. I say as I keep staring at the feather very intently. As soon as I'm done saying the words, I look down and see that my arms are slowly materializing, and then my torso and then my legs. Does he have clothes on? In less than a few seconds, my whole body appears out of nowhere, as if it had only been invisible this whole time. I'm wearing the exact same clothes I had on the other plane. That's amazing, I say. What did the incantation mean? I didn't recognize the language. It meant nothing, Luna says simply. Pardon? I ask her confused. It was gibberish, Luna says. There's something that I invented on the spot to make the ritual sound more believable. And the thing about looking at the feather, I say, was that made up to something you made up too? Luna says, in this place you can, yes, in this place you can do anything with your mind as long as your thoughts are powerful enough. For something as simple as gaining back your body, all you need to is to be convinced that you can do it and you will be successful. This is why I gave you the simple task to accomplish. You already knew that I had helped Layla and Hardrick recover their bodies. So you were convinced that as long as I didn't follow you'd follow my instructions to the letter, the same would apply to you. If I were to have instead told you something vague, like how you need to erase any doubts in your head and be completely confident in your own abilities, you probably would have tried to think about it logically, and you would have begun to doubt yourself because there would be no way for you to accurately measure your level of confidence. You said that it's easier to obtain my body than it is to do other stuff, I say. What about making things appear out of nowhere? I saw Flower do it outside. She just made a palm tree and a cart show up out of nowhere. Flower has been living here a long time, so naturally she's more accustomed to the ways of this place, Luna says. Aside from an advantage of being an ethereal, I think there is also the fact that on the ethereal plane you benefit from having stronger emotions rather than from analyzing every little detail. And Flower typically has strong emotions about anything. This is the only place in the world where her illogical way of thinking actually gives her the upper hand instead of being one of her weak points. Well, I think I get it now, I say. When I first got my hands back, I remember feeling a strong need to be able to move around out there in the place full of light, and that must be why I was able to have them materialize, because of the strong emotion I was feeling at the time. For future reference, Luna says, the place full of light outside this house is called the ether. This is where all souls eventually end up once the bodies from the ethereal plane that they were linked to would die, and also where they begin to slowly decompose into ethereal matter. Really? Flower asks, shocked. The light out there is just a bunch of dead souls? Why are you acting so surprised? Luna says. You have been living here for more than me, haven't you? Wait, how is that possible? Yeah, Flower says. But I just thought the reason why there was so much light was because we were really close to the sun or something. There is no sun here, Luna says. This is the ethereal plane. Oh, right, I knew that, Flower says in a nervous tone. So do you guys have any idea what happened to us and where everyone else is? I say. Are Darren, Kate, Melindra still out there in the ether? What about the King of the Underground and his men? I'm not sure what the Overseer did exactly, Luna says, but I assume that he must have somehow made use of his newfound knowledge about the blue crystals and the Magium to throw the souls of everyone in the area out of their own mind. I remember Kate telling us at one point about how she read in an old Lasethi book that a person's mind is supposedly located in the ethereal plane and not on the earthen plane. I say, when you say the souls got thrown out of their minds, you're talking about their minds, which are located here in this plane of existence. Oh, I see, that's how it works in this world. So the brain doesn't contain the consciousness. It just acts as a medium. The consciousness is contained in the soul, which is already present here, and which starts decaying when people die. Yes, Luna says, I'm talking about the fortified structure that are designed to defend each soul against the corrosive effect of the ether, which is also meant to help connect the body, soul of their earthen body. This is the house that we are in, for example, is Flower's mind. Oh. So our body is alive, it's just that we were starting to get fucked up because we were out there while being aware of the fact that we are in the ethereal plane, but the house is entirely made out of Flower's existence. That's really complicated. That is really complicated. Alright. Is that so? I say as I take a better look around the room that I am in. In any case, I believe that we are straying too far from our original topic. Luna says the point I was trying to make was that if the overseer did indeed find a way to eject all the people in the plaza out of their mind, and then the majority of the people involved in the fight against the drone should be floating in the ether right now. Can he just go kill the bodies then? I say. But Flower said that they should all be in a daze, right? How will we find them if we can't see their bodies and if they won't be clear-headed enough to answer our calls? Ask Flower, Luna says. She's the one who found you, Hardrock and Layla, not me. Oh, Flower says when she sees all of us looking at her. Well, you see, when I realized what happened, I got this sudden urgent feeling that I had to do something or everyone would die. And then she paused for a while to think, looking as if she was having a hard time trying to describe what happened to her. And then her eyes became bright red and the whole aura around her house was set aflame, Luna says. Next thing you know, she could easily locate your whereabouts from anywhere in the ethereal plane, and she could traverse long distances almost instantaneously. I'm still not entirely certain how that happened, but based on the little amount of information I have at my disposal, I'm going to assume that it was something akin to a next stage of evolution that is specific to ethereals, something along those lines. Oh, evolution, ethereal souls, that's fucking cool. Yeah, do you think you're right about this being an ethereal only thing? I say. Kate's friend Diane is also an ethereal according to Kate, and I remember clearly that her eyes were glowing when she attacked us in the sacrifice. I think that was just because she was a mage and using electricity. Well, I don't know if you remember this, but Flower's eye was also glowing with a bright red color that one time when she fought Aiden. Before we went into Thelius. This stage of evolution, as you call it, might be something related to their emotional state, because both Flower and Diane were either really angry or really determined whenever their eyes started shining. Flower says, I'd really love to stay here and chat, but I'm kind of starting to get a little worried that the others might also try to breathe like Perry almost did. So I'd better go bring them quickly to my house just to be safe. I'll be right back. She then gets covered in a white light and she teleports out of the room. Hey Luna, I say after a little while, can you by any chance see what's going on in the other plane? Yes, Luna says. We're inside Flower's mind right now, so I can control her body. What happened to our earthen bodies? I say, are they unconscious or? Yes, your bodies are unconscious, but they are unhurt, Luna says. Nobody is moving at this time, not even the drones. The only ones awake in the area where the fight are taking place, aside from myself, is Araka, who's ranting about how we can't even defend ourselves against a measly attack on our souls from the earthen plane. If the drones are not moving, then could it be possible the Overseer also displays his own souls by mistake? I ask. Otherwise, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't at least try to capture the rebels, whether collapsed on the ground. We'll have to ask Flower if she can sense him somewhere in the ether once she comes back, Luna says. If he is out there, then your theory will become very likely. Does Flower also know that where our minds are? I hear Layla in her voice talking, but her mouth is closed. I have no recollection of getting thrown out of my mind, so I can't help her with the directions, but if she can teleport me there. Unfortunately, no, she does not seem to be able to detect where your minds are, Luna says. This is why she had to bring you all here to her own mind as a temporary measure. So our mind is in this place, and that exists because our bodies are still alive. It's just that the consciousness got thrown out of the... Oh wow, this is complicated. So if I were to break this down in like my own terms, then that would be the body contains the brain, which acts as a medium for the consciousness. But in actuality, the consciousness exists inside the soul, which they are referring to as the mind, inside the ethereal plane. So the outer shell in the ethereal plane is the soul. Inside that is the consciousness, and the brain is back on the earthen plane. When the body dies, the soul cover is removed and the consciousness then starts to deteriorate. What happened here is that the Overseer ripped the goddamn consciousness out of the protective layer of the soul and threw it into the sea of whatever. What is it called? Sea of death, whatever. Sea of light. Or dead souls. Unfortunately, no, she does not seem to... Yeah. She had to bring you all here to her mind as a temporary measure. Her mind, Hardwick asked all of a sudden. What do you mean her mind? Isn't this her house? No, this is not a real house, Luna says, looking slightly irritated. We have already talked about this. She made it look like a house, but in reality, it is the inside of her mind. She has complete control over this place, and she can turn it into anything she wants.